What's up YouTube, this is Supreme King 117 here, and today I'll be talking about my Sacred Beast deck profile for you guys today. These are cards I got from the Sacred Beast structured decks I opened up a couple of days ago, and I'm here to show you today what you can do if you opened up 3 of them, and I came up with this. So enough said, let's get right into it. Start off with, I'm running 3 Dark Beckoning Beast. This is the main monster you want to try and get into because when he is normal summoned, you get to add any Sacred Beast monster or any monster, spell, or trap that lists a Sacred Beast, which is why you want to open it up. You summon this guy, you get to search any card you need to go along with your combos. Then he's got a second effect. You can make an additional normal summon this turn, so you get to summon, well, you get to be honest, you get to summon 2 monsters in one, so which is a good combo for this next card, Chaos Summoning Beast. Now, when this guy, well, you contribute this card to special summon one of the Sacred Beast monsters from your hand, which is really handy, especially if you're trying to combo off with Dark Beckoning Beast. You normal summon him, you search a Sacred Beast card, then you normal summon this guy. Well, in addition to this guy, then you contribute this guy, special summon a Sacred Beast from your hand. Cool. But then, he's got a secondary effect when he's in the graveyard. You can banish him to add Fallen Paradise from your deck to your hand, which is the field spell for the Sacred Beast deck, which is always handy. Next, I'm earning 3 copies of Dark Summoning Beast. This guy, again, brilliant. All I can say, because again, you can common off with Dark Beckoning Beast, which is really cool. So when he is, you contribute this card, special summon Yugioh, Haman, and Raviol from your hand or graveyard, which I think is really overpowered. But problem is, you're not allowed to attack the turn you activate this effect, but that doesn't matter because usually if it's the first turn you can't attack anyway, so that's okay. Also, it's got a secondary effect when he's in the graveyard, which you get to, actually I can't remember actually. Beast, yeah, you can banish this card, add one Yugioh, Haman, or Raviol from your graveyard into your hand. Cool. Next, I'm running, most people don't run this card, but I do. I run 1 Chaos Core. I like him because when he's summoned, or when an effect or attack is targeting Chaos Core, you get to send 1 of each Haman, Yugioh, or Raviol from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, you take no damage for the rest of the turn. Also, it's good for the fusion spell, which we'll be talking about in a bit, because it's really handy just getting your Sacred Beast monsters into the graveyard so you can continue with your plays. And also if so each Sacred Beast monster you send to your graveyard, you get add 1 Phantasm counter on this card. So every time you would have been destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove 1 Phantasmal counter instead. So again, you can just never die. Yep. Next card, I'm running 2 Danger Chupacabra. Danger support, I think, can be miss or hit with this deck. With dangers, you want to have it in your starting hand because you can activate this effect by revealing it in your hand. Then your opponent picks 1 card in your hand, but if he picks Danger Chupacabra, you don't get the additional effect. But he does have another effect after that, which you can special summon another danger monster from your graveyard. But sadly, you don't. You're only running Danger Chupacabra. But it's also a good thing because if your opponent doesn't pick Danger Chupacabra, you can special summon Danger Chupacabra from your hand and draw an extra card too. Again, extra draw power, which does help and gets you another monster on the field. Next monster is Raiden, the multi-dimensional kaiju. Now this is the monster that will disrupt your opponent's plays. You can special summon this card onto your opponent's field by sacrificing a monster they control, and you summon this monster in attack mode, which helps with your opponent's going with link plays or got a big boss monster that cannot be destroyed by card effects or so. So that's something to get rid of. This could be always handy. Now that's it for the monsters. Well, main monsters anyway. Now we're running into the Sacred Beasts. I'm running 2 of each, 2 Horaya, Raviel, and Haman. Because as we're running Pot of Desires, it's best to run 2, because as we run Pot of Desires, you might lose one. So, but you also got a spare, so you can also search it from your Dark Beckoning Beast or so on. So always run, because they're always powerful. Uriah, you cannot be special summoned except for summoning sacrificing 3 continuous trap cards on the field. But thanks to these new Sacred Beast support, we don't really have to summon it these ways, because this guy requires 3 continuous traps, Haman requires 3 continuous spells, and Raviel requires 3 fiends. So, but they also got additional effects. Uriah's attack depends on how many trap cards you got in your graveyard. Also, once per turn, you can destroy one spell trap card your opponent controls. Haman's interesting. He cannot attack your opponent directly. I don't believe anyway. Yeah. Every time he attacks a monster or destroys a monster in battle, you inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. But then, if he's in defense mode, all attacks get redirected to him as well, which can be also handy. And also, when he's destroyed the turn, the rest of the turn you take no battle damage. And I'm running 1 Raviel, Lord of Phantasm, and Shimmering Scraper. Now this is one of the new cards we've got. It's pretty much a hand trap for your Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, which is very handy because you can discard this card, target Raviel, it gains double attack, but then it's got a second effect. When he's in the graveyard, you tribute a monster, you add it back into your hand, so it's sort of a recursion hand trap, even if you got Haman out on the field all the time, so it can be very handy. Alright, that's it for the monsters. We move on to the spells now. I recommend the best spell in the whole deck, Opening of the Spirit Gates. Now, this card, when this card is activated, you add 1 Uriah, Haman, or Raviel from your deck to your hand, or 1 monster that lists it in its text. Again, it's another good search. Then once per turn, you can discard 1 card, special summon 1 fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your graveyard. So you could be your Dark Beckoning Beast, your Dark Summoning Beast, Chaos Summoning Beast, any of those 3. Then again, increases your plays. Then it's got a third effect. If you control a level 10 monster, you can add 1 continuous spell card from your graveyard to your hand, which you probably won't use as much, but it's always good if you're trying to get another one of these from the graveyard just in case. Right, next spell. 2 Dimensional Fusion Destruction. This is the fusion of the deck, which helps bring out your Armatal, the Chaos Phantom, which I believe this card is broken for Sacred Beast, because you can banish from your hand, field, and or graveyard the fusion materials that are listed on the Phantasm fusion monster, so like Armatal, the Chaos Phantom. Then special summon that fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. What makes it so good, you take no battle damage from attacks involving the monster special summoned by this effect. Also, if you control Uriah, Haman, or Raviel, your opponent can activate cards in response to this card's activation. So that's why I was saying about Chaos Core, because when when he's summoned, you can send all 3 monsters to your graveyard from your deck, and this is why I thought it'd be a good combo with Dimensional Fusion Destruction. Also, you take no battle damage to turn, so that's an extra win. Sorry about that. Next, I'm running 1 Cerulean Sire Strike. This is another new card. I'm only running 1 off because there's better cards. I'm tempting of removing this card out and adding another Dimensional Fusion Destruction, but for now I'm just trying out with 1 Cerulean Sire Strike. So usually when you're summoning Haman, you need 3 continuous spell cards. With this card, you don't really need to do that. You can just set any spell card on the field face down, and you can just sacrifice them, which I guess can be handy, but in a way you're not going to use that because you've got other effects that special summons Haman. So that effect's usually not as effective as any other one. Then what makes this card quite good is that you can negate any spell and trap card by your opponent if you control Haman in attack mode. But then your Haman has to go to defense mode, so this is only a one-time use unless you have 2 Hamans on the field in attack mode, which can be okay. But then if one of your Sacred Beasts leaves the field, the turn, you take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. So again, it's okay. So next, I'm running 1 Fallen Paradise. I'm only running 1 because as we got a search for it, so that's also, it doesn't really do anything apart from protecting your monsters from card effects, as well, or card destruction, I should say, as well as just drawing 2 cards every turn. So your opponent probably won't be targeting this card anyway with card effects. You'd probably be targeting like pretty much more opening of the spirit gates, or any other like Haman, raviol, etc. So I'm only running 1 of them as it's easy searchable, and there's a bit more extra draw power. Next, I'll be running 2 Pot of Desires. This is why I'm running 2 of every Sacred Beast monster. Banish 10 cards from the top of your deck face down to draw 2 cards. Again, can be quite risky, but gives you more cards to get into your plays. Bear with me, I just can have a quick drink. Okay. Next, I'm running 2 Swords of Concealing Light. I'll say this is it's more of a backup card. If your opponent has a strong board, you can use this card and just set most of them monsters, which for 3 turns, which helps build up your comeback, so to say. So you can go for the win. So it's more of an emergency. And I'm running the 1 for 1. This card is really handy. Send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon 1 level 1 monster from your deck. Which the only level 1 monster is Chaos Summoning Beast. Which again, if you got a Sacred Beast in your hand, you get to special summon it straight. Alright, that's it for the spells. We'll move on to the traps. I'm running the best trap in my opinion, Awakening of the Sacred Beast. Now this card is fun to use. This card gains different effects depending on how many Sacred Beasts you got out on the field. So, like so if you've got 1 Sacred Beast out on the field, obviously with different names, each time your opponent's normal special summons a monster, gain life points equal to the attack of that monster, which is already, especially if you're going first, you set this card. Then if your opponent wants to go for loads of plays, link something and all that, you can activate this card. It might prevent them from summoning loads of monsters. And what's quite cool, imagine having 2 out and you got Haman or whatever, etc., and you gain double your life points. I mean, how cool is that? And also when you've got 2 monsters with different effects, 2 different kinds of monsters, negate the activated effects of monsters your opponent controls. So that's the more one you're trying to get to. So all the face-up monsters are negated, especially when you activate their effects. But if you're really lucky, you get this third one out when you control all 3 sacred beasts with different names. Any monsters sent to the opponent's graveyard are banished instead. So it's pretty much Dark Law. A Dark Law trap card, which is very cool. Then I'm running 2 Hyper Blaze. Firstly, this is my favourite artwork of the entire deck. I love it so much. And also, some people don't like running this card because they think it's not too good. But this card's got 3 effects. And I like its third effect because it can be very handy, especially with Chaos Core. I'll run it through you quickly. Usually it's the same as Shimmering Scraper, or Shimmering Strike I should say, from Haman's spell card. Instead of continuous spells, you can do like a continuous trap cards, and you can use set traps as well. Again, it makes it a bit easier to summon Uriah that way. Also, then if your Uriah is in a battle, you can send 1 trap card from your deck to the graveyard. Then Uriah gains 1,000 attack for every face-up trap in your... Is it banished as well? Actually, I can't remember. So any face-up trap cards on the field and in the graveyard. And graveyards. So it can be your opponents as well, which could give you a couple extra 1,000 to your Uriah, which can be very handy. Then its third effect, you can discard 1 card, add to your hand or special summon 1 of the sacred beasts from your graveyard. That's why I like it, and can be really helpful. Alright, then I'm running 2 Escape from the Dark Dimension. This is our Monster Reborn of the deck. Target one of your banished dark monsters, special summon that target. When this card leaves the field, destroy the card. So, yeah. Because there's only 2 targets that probably be banished. One of, well, I'll say 2, but there's actually 5. One of, if you're using Dimensional Fusion Destruction, your Sacred Beast will be banished. So you could use your banished Sacred Beast for this card, as well as your Dark Summoning Beast and Dark Beckoning Beast. So like this guy, you could just continue to play with this guy, which can be really helpful. Alright, that's the traps. I'll quickly run through the extra deck for you guys. Actually, before that, I forgot to run through Raviol's effect. Sometimes, sorry about that. Raviol, where each time your monster summons a monster, you can special summon 1 token onto the field. Then you can sacrifice 2 monsters, and Raviol gains the attack points of both monsters, including his own. So it can be like 12,000 or so. Quite handy. I'm running, obviously, for the tokens for Raviol, 3 Phantasm tokens. You know, just for some lovely monsters on the field, which could be sacrificed thanks to Raviol. Alright. Armatal, the Chaos Phantom. Our main boss monster we want to try and get into the quickly as we can, because why is this card so good? It's because it cannot be destroyed by battle, and it gains 10,000 attack during our turn only. But because of Dimensional Fusion Destruction, we don't take battle damage from it. So pretty much is indestructible. And with Fallen Paradise, won't be destroyed by card effects as well. So, but sadly it can still be banished. So we have to be careful of that. But even so, Armatal Chaos Phantom, our boss monster. And as we had it in our structure deck, we're running 3 Phantasm Emperor Troll George. Again, there's another boss monster. If this card is special summoned, or if another monster is special summoned from the graveyard to the field where you control this monster, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, inflict damage to your opponents equal to half the original attack. You can only use this effect of Phantasm Emperor Troll George once per turn. So, yep. another boss monster that could help with plays. Alright, that's it for the deck profile. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please comment, like and subscribe, and let me know if you've got any questions down in the comments below, and let me know if you want me to open any booster boxes in the future. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.